Perfect. It shows that we're live. We'll get started here momentarily. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. We're back with our next candidate. We're flipping back to our Jeffco County Commissioner candidates. With us, we have Andy Kerr. But before I get him started, you know I like to give you housekeeping. I am Juliette Bell, President and CEO of the Westminster Chamber of Commerce. If this is your first time on our page, please hit the like and follow button. Of course, my counterpart today is Alberto Garcia, former Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Westminster, Legacy Award recipient, strategic advisor to the Chamber, of course, and a pro-business and community member here. Thank you, Alberto, for taking part and interest in what we're doing. To all of you that are tuning in, if you listen to a broadcast and you feel that there is value that others in your network should know about, hit the share button so others are just as informed as you are when they're voting at the poll. With that, I'm transitioning over, and I'd like to give shout outs and kudos. So if you're following along, let me know who you are. Please tune in, give us those compliments and comments that you have or questions that might be fine. I'll transition over now to our Jeffco County Commissioner candidate, Kerr. Andy, please share with us a little bit about why folks should know you and what you're all about.
Great, thank you so much, and thanks for this opportunity to share a little bit about myself and to ask for your support. My name is Andy Kerr. I'm running for Jefferson County Commissioner in District 2, and I'm running to make sure that Jefferson County in Colorado remains one of the best places to live, work, play, and raise a family. And my over 2 decades as a Jeffco social studies teacher and my 12 years in the state legislature certainly have given me some unique knowledge and collaborative leadership skills that we really need in order to make sure that we're fighting for our environment, small businesses, and working families right here in Jefferson County. We're lucky to be a home to a large population of hardworking people spread across mountain and metro communities, and they deserve commissioners whose experience look a lot like theirs, not just the wealthy and powerful, but who will work for everybody.
Thank you. Moving into our 30 seconds, I hear a little bit of background, so if you guys are watching, please tune it down a little bit. But we're moving into our 30 seconds, timed rapid fire questions. These start whenever you start answering the question. The first question is, what is the biggest challenge facing our county?
Absolutely. This is the county budget, and to provide the services that all Jefferson County residents depend on. And that is being heavily impacted by COVID-19, of course. It was also our budget was being cut before COVID-19 because Jefferson County is one of the few counties that has not debruced. That's absolutely something that the commissioner should look at again. And we need to focus on making sure our businesses can reopen as soon as possible.
Thank you. So as it relates to business, what business experience do you have? And if elected, how will you draw from that experience to aid in our economic recovery?
Absolutely. Thank you. So my business experience comes in a variety of ways. I have family members who are small business owners. I've certainly been experienced the customer end of businesses, and I've also served on the business committees in both the state house and the state senate, and also the finance and appropriations committees in both the house and the senate. And all of those experiences have given me an awareness of what it means to have a thriving economy in a community like ours.
Thank you. This next question asks, if you are elected, yes or no, would you commit to your full term in office?
Absolutely. That's what I've always done in everything I've run for, is to make sure that I'm fulfilling the pledge that I make to the voters.
Thank you. Our country, our state, and even our counties are divided right now. Can you give an example of a time that you've worked together with people of varying viewpoints to accomplish something positive?
When I was in the state senate, I worked hard with Chris Holbert, who is a Republican leader senator and leader from Douglas County, and he and I worked hard to decrease the number of standardized tests that our students were required to take. And he and I worked together. Both of us at various times were in the majority and minority, but we worked together and were able to accomplish this. He even brought this up during a very contentious bill this past year. Even though I'm no longer in the Senate, he brought up the two of us working together.
Thank you. How would you address the budget with competing interests?
Any budget is a moral document, and we all have to set priorities. My priorities are very, very clear that we need to make sure that, first of all, you have to balance the budget. That's a constitutional requirement, and it's what we should be doing anyways. And we need to make sure that we are providing the services that the people of Jefferson County depend on. But we need to, wildfire mitigation, our economic health, affordable housing, these need to be top priorities.
In these trying times, what can elected officials do to support local businesses?
So bully pulpit, elected officials should be out in public going to the local businesses. We need to be talking them up on our social media platforms, as in our discussions, in our meetings. We need to be talking about the importance of local business. You can look back through my social media from the last 15 years and see that that's something I've always done, is try to push out that people should be going to their local businesses.
If elected, what is your top priority?
My top priority is to make sure that we have a budget that we can balance each year, and make sure, and the only way of doing that is to make sure that we have an economy that is working for everyone, not just the folks at the top, and to make sure that our businesses are open, can safely open, make sure that our kids can safely go to school. And so our public health is going to be paramount to making sure that our communities can fully reopen.
What is the biggest challenge facing our county?
So in addition to COVID-19 and in addition to our budget issues, I think that the wildfires, even though we haven't had them here in Jefferson County, they've been all up and down the Front Range and throughout Colorado. We need to make sure that our Jeffco communities are doing everything they can in wildfire mitigation to make sure that we're prepared. And these fires impact the clean air and water that we have come to depend on here in Jefferson County. And we need to make sure that we're doing all we can to make sure those don't happen.
We're rounding out our rapid fire questions. So if you have a question that you would like for us to ask, now is the time for you to type that into the comment section of this broadcast. What will be your biggest challenge in this role?
I think the biggest challenge is bringing all four corners of Jefferson County together. The folks who live in Pine, the folks who live up Cold Creek Canyon, the folks in the Jefferson County portion of Westminster, and the folks who live in the unincorporated areas of Littleton. Bringing all of those diverse interests together and making sure that we, as commissioners, we are listening to everyone, and that we are working as leaders in a community, not just any one specific place.
What, if anything, would you change with how the county has responded to COVID?
Perhaps I would have liked to have seen Jefferson County go for their variants a little bit sooner. And I think that might have helped us negotiate some of the unknowns a little bit earlier. It's hard to say, and it's always easy to second guess. But I think overall, as a teacher, I would give our county an A+ rating for how they have responded to this crisis.
Okay, we have about actually 15 seconds for you to do a closing remarks, if that's okay. We also have Brian Head sharing good morning or good afternoon, and Brian Dice thanking you for coming on here and sharing your views. Andy, please give us some closing remarks as to why folks should consider candidacy further.
Having grown up here in Jefferson County and having served in swing districts that have equal numbers of Democrats and Republicans and continuously would reelect me to send me back to the legislature, I think shows that I've been responsive to all of my constituents. I will represent everyone in the county and make sure that everyone is being listened to.
Thank you so much, Andy. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of our viewers. Please be sure that you share this out so others in your network can learn more about Andy, where he's coming from, and what he believes to be the best approach in answering some of these questions and concerns that our county is facing. Of course, we will be back on here with another candidate momentarily. But Andy, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. And of course, Alberto, stick with me as we close out.
Great.